What's up, Gooners? Welcome back to AFC Daily News. We've got 3 massive Arsenal stories to bring you today, with the latest news and updates coming out of the Emirates. So if you're an Arsenal fan, you're definitely going to want to hear this. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight into it. Let's jump straight into the first story because multiple reports are now confirming that Christian Norgaard is heading to Everton in a deal worth approximately £7 million. And why that seemingly minor piece of transfer business is actually the clearest confirmation yet that the Bruno Guimaraes deal is more or less done. Think about the logic here carefully. Arsenal did not need to sell Norgaard urgently for financial reasons. He has been a reliable professional squad member who has contributed meaningfully to the title-winning campaign. The club did not need to move him on simply to balance the books or clear wages. There is only one reason Arsenal accelerate the exit of a central midfielder in the final weeks of the window, because his replacement has already been secured or is so close to completion that creating the squad space is now the priority rather than the negotiation itself. Claims coming out of Brazil this weekend have suggested that things between Arsenal and Newcastle are more or less done. The fee is understood to be settling in the north of £75 million range, a number that both clubs can live with, and one that reflects the reality of a player whose desire to leave has been immovable since the summer began. Eddie Howe's resignation removed the last significant emotional barrier that was keeping Guimaraes from pushing harder. Matthias Gisel is arriving as the new manager of a club in transition. In that environment, the case for Newcastle holding firm on a player who wants to leave becomes harder to make with every passing day. The personal terms picture has been settled for weeks. Guimaraes agreed broad terms with Arsenal before any official bid was submitted, a level of personal commitment that tells you everything about how seriously he views this move. He will not go on strike. He will not create a public confrontation. He has handled the entire situation with the class and respect that defines him both as a player and as a person. But the outcome was always going to be the same. And Norgaard heading to Goodison Park for £7 million is the final piece of circumstantial evidence that the destination has been confirmed. Reports from Brazil suggest things are more or less done. Nørgaard's exit confirms there is space to fill and a budget freed up to fill it. Eddie Howe is gone. Newcastle need to move forward under new management, and Arsenal need their midfielder confirmed before the Community Shield against Manchester City on August the 16th. The announcement cannot be far away. Brace yourselves, Gooners. So, Gooners, does Nørgaard's exit to Everton confirm for you that the Guimaraes deal is done, or are you waiting for the official announcement before allowing yourself to celebrate? Drop your reaction in the comments right now. I want to feel the energy of this moment with you all. Now let's talk about the attacking backup plan that Arsenal have quietly identified, because Metro Sport are reporting that Joao Pedro has emerged on Arsenal's shortlist as a potential alternative if both Vinicius Jr and Julian Alvarez prove impossible to land before the window closes. And at £86 million, this is a serious pursuit rather than a casual interest. The context for this story is important. Arsenal have been clear all summer that they are determined to sign a high-caliber forward, regardless of how the Vinicius and Alvarez situations develop. The left wing and centre-forward positions need elite reinforcement. Trossard has gone to Besiktas, Solis has come in as a supplementary addition, and the gap between what Arsenal currently have in attack and what they need to win the Champions League remains significant. Vinicius and Alvarez are the dream scenario, but Berta always has contingencies. He has to. Joao Pedro represents a genuinely compelling contingency. The Brazilian has established himself as one of the Premier League's most impressive attackers since arriving in England. First at Brighton, where his performances were so consistently excellent, they earned him a move to Chelsea, and then at Stamford Bridge, where he has continued to demonstrate the kind of technical quality, positioning and goal threat that makes him one of the more underrated forwards in the division. He is left-footed, versatile across the front line, capable of playing as a centre-forward or on the left, and has already adapted completely to the pace and physicality of English football. The Chelsea dimension adds a fascinating layer to this story. A move to Arsenal would allow Pedro to remain in London without relocating, maintaining the lifestyle, the city, and the environment he has built during his time in England. That personal convenience factor should not be underestimated committed in transfer negotiations involving players who are settled and happy in their current location. But Chelsea view Pedro as a key squad member and will not make any sale straightforward. £86 million is a significant opening position, and the Blues will likely push for more given the player's importance to their attacking plans. The honest assessment is that Pedro would represent a significant and immediate upgrade on what Arsenal currently have in attack, but he does not reach the transformative ceiling of Vinicius or the tactical uniqueness of Alvarez. He is the right backup plan precisely because he is a proven Premier League performer who would make Arsenal better without requiring the kind of financial and structural commitment that the primary targets demand. Berta keeps this option warm, but Vinicius remains the dream. And everything we are hearing suggests the dream is still very much alive. So Gooners, if both Vinicius and Alvarez fall through, would you be happy with Arsenal spending £86 million on Joao Pedro as the attacking addition? Or does that feel like a significant step down in ambition from what this summer has been building towards? Let me know everything in the comments. Now let's round things off with the Vinicius Jr update that every single Gooner has been waiting for, because it has just been revealed that Mikel Arteta has personally been in contact with the Real Madrid superstar and has already outlined exactly how he plans to use him at Arsenal next season. But there is a £17 million gap between what Real Madrid are demanding and what Arsenal are willing to pay. And that gap needs to close if this deal is going to happen. Let us start with the most extraordinary detail in this entire story. Arteta called Vinicius, the Arsenal manager, not an agent, not a representative, not an intermediary, personally reached out to one of the 2 or 3 best players on the planet and had a direct conversation about football, about tactics, about vision, and about what life under his management at the Emirates would look like. That is not how clubs conduct themselves when they have a casual interest in a player. That is how clubs conduct themselves when they are genuinely, seriously and urgently committed to making a transfer happen. The financial picture has also just become clearer than it has been at any point in this pursuit. According to Sport, Real Madrid president Florentino Perez is demanding €170 million, approximately £145 million, for Vinicius. Arsenal want to complete a deal for less than €150 million, approximately £128 million. The gap is €20 million, roughly £17 million. In the context of a transfer of this magnitude, that is not an insurmountable difference. It is a negotiating gap between two parties who both know a deal could work. One side anchored high to protect their opening position, the other anchored below their true ceiling to protect their budget. Arsenal are willing to make Vinicius the highest paid player in Premier League history, wages approaching what Mbappe earns at Real Madrid, figures described as very close to £400,000 per week. That commitment on the personal terms side removes the biggest variable in most elite transfers. The outstanding question is purely about the transfer fee and whether Florentino Perez can be convinced to take £130 million for a player entering the final year of his contract, rather than £145 million. The logic for Real Madrid accepting a fee in that range is compelling and has been articulated clearly by every analyst who has looked at this situation. Vinicius has 12 months left on his deal. Real Madrid have just committed over €100 million to Yan Diomande on a 5-year contract in the same attacking position. Losing Vinicius for free in 2027 is a genuine and increasingly likely scenario if no agreement is reached. £130 million now invested in the next generation is a significantly better outcome than £0 next summer. Florentino Perez understands football economics better than almost anyone alive. He will reach the same conclusion eventually. The question is how quickly. Arteta has made the call. Vinicius knows what Arsenal are offering. The financial gap is £17 million. Close it, Berta. This is the moment that defines whether this summer goes from great to legendary. So Gooners, with Arteta personally calling Vinicius and a gap of just £17 million between the two clubs, do you believe Arsenal are going to pull off the most sensational signing in their entire history? This is the biggest question in English football right now. Drop every single thought in the comments. I want to feel this moment with every one of you. Alright Gooners, smash that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. Guimaraes basically done. Vinicius £17 million away, Arteta personally making phone calls to the best players on the planet. This is the most extraordinary Arsenal summer any of us have ever lived through, and you absolutely cannot afford to miss a single second of what comes next. Hit that button immediately, completely free. Until next time, Gooners, come on you Gunners.